Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Fikret. In this end-to-end course, we're gonna dive into amazing world of real-time analytics in Databricks. I'm excited to take you there. So let's talk about streaming monitoring options with Databricks. So one of the easiest ways of monitoring streaming progress is to use interactive queries. So earlier we have created streaming pipeline and assigned the results to streaming handle. That streaming handle provides a number of useful properties to get useful information about streams like streaming status, progress, and so on and so forth. A more advanced method is to use Spark listeners. Using Spark listeners, you can actually build a centralized dashboard to monitor all of your streams. Finally, you can use built-in Spark UI to monitor your streaming progress. Let's see how it works. In command 78, I have streaming pipelines that reads from one table in bronze and writes into another table in silver. And notice that I have assigned the result to a streaming handle. So if I run this command, I will be able to use streaming handle to get the status of the stream. So let's run this command now. We can see that it started processing new data. So if I run this command multiple times, I may see different statuses here. So sometimes you will see waiting for data to arrive status, whereas sometimes you will see the new data processing status. Another useful streaming property is last progress property. It allows you to get progress related statistics. This JSON includes few important fields that allows you to judge processing performance. So you can see input rows per second, process rows per second. You can also see batch duration. In addition, you can get some helpful information about the source and the destinations. Now, the recent progress property demonstrated in commands 81 is similar to last progress property, except it contains multiple micro batch informations. We can also use stream.active property, which produces a list, to get information about all of your active streams. Now, the interactive progress monitoring for streams is suitable for dev scenarios while you're building the streaming pipelines. However, this is not convenient for production scenarios where you have many different pipelines running in automatic fashion. So to address that scenario, we can use more advanced monitoring tool, which is Spark Listener. To use Spark Listener, you have to create inherited class from streaming query listener. So in commands 83, I have example of that. With that class, you have to three methods. The onQuery started method will start when any of your streaming starts. In this case, I am just printing a streaming start related message here. Then another useful method is onQuery progress. This method allows you to receive streaming progress and do something about that. So you can either print it somewhere, log it, or do something else. So in this case, the code I have included here extracts some of the key streaming progress related informations and then writes into delta table called streaming monitor. Another method that you can customize for is onQuery idle, which fires when your query have completed processing data and is waiting for new data. And finally, onQuery terminated method allows you to build monitoring for stream termination events. Once you build this class, you can add it to your existing streams using add listener method. One thing to notice here is that Spark listeners works asynchronously, meaning that no matter what logic you build inside your monitoring logic here, it will not impact your actual streaming performance. So let me run this command to add Spark Listener to my streaming pipelines. And if I go back and rerun my streaming pipeline, I can see the message that I included in my stream listener method. Let's take a look at the sample of the data collected by using Spark Listener. So here I have included query name, batch ID, number of input rows, number of input rows per second, and process rows per second. So these two parameters are the same that we have seen in the chart. And by comparing these two, you can get sense of your streaming performance. Another advantage of storing your streaming progress in Delta table is that you can build dashboards and alerts to have proactive monitoring of your streaming events. So here I have created a dashboard where I have included input rows per second and process rows per second. And now I can come here and select the streaming query I am interested in, for example, this one, IoT measurement silver, and see how it has been processing. And I have included batch duration related chart here as well. Having streaming progress in Delta tables gives you some other advantages as well. So, for example, here I have built a query which calculates difference between processed and the input rows to get backlog rows, and then compares this backlog between different micro batches and finds the micro batches where backlog starts increasing. I'm going to share this query as well in case you want to play around this. And once I have that query, I can build alerts to monitor for certain conditions. For example, I can say, send me alert whenever my backlog rows per second exceeds a certain threshold value. Now let me wrap up streaming monitoring topic with another great way of monitoring, which is built in Databricks, so you don't need to do anything about that. I'm gonna go to Spark UI to get some key information about my streaming. So to do that, I will navigate to Compute, open my Compute, Properties, go to Spark UI, and hit Open in New tab. Here we can navigate to Structured Streaming tab, and this page will contain a list of all my currently active and completed streams. So let me open one of the completed streams. Here we can get information about input rate, process rate, input rows, and so on and so forth. All right, let me wrap up today's tutorial with quick discussion around performance. What is specific about streaming performance is that if you compare it with batch workload performance, streaming workloads usually involve much smaller amount of time because it processes the data in micro batches. However, there are a few things that you need to be aware from performance perspective. So first of all, depending on your transformation types, you may choose different cluster configuration. If your workload is mainly persists of stateless transformations, transformations like select or filtering, then you may need to allocate more nodes so that you could distribute the workload. However, if your workload is heavy on stateful transformations like aggregations or joins, your streaming performance will benefit from having more powerful nodes with more memory. Another consideration is managing your ingestion rate. If you are noticing your backlog increasing over time, you may choose to change some of the source options to reduce streaming pace or to make your micro batches less frequent.